I said live on YouTube.
Okay, okay. I think it's coming on. So this is the new way for me. So I hope, everything goes well. It should though.
I see you balling now. Do your
Y'all
thing.
see me? There it is. There it is. There it is. You guys, thank y'all so much for being here. Let me see. Coming on. It's kind of delayed. So this is the new way for me. So I hope, everything goes well. It should though.
I see you balling now. Do your thing. Yeah, this is a little update from last time.
Thank y'all so much for being here. Let me see. Coming on. I think y'all, if somebody. So this is the new way for me. So I hope, everything goes well. It should. So where are y'all? Are y'all caught up? Are y'all? It's kind of.
Yeah, this is a little update from last time.
Yeah, but we're crossing. Conversations are crossing, so I can't see where we are. You hear all the conversations?
Yeah.
I can hear you now. I turned off my Bluetooth in my car.
Are y'all? Danielle, do you?
This is a little update from last time.
Yeah, but we're crossing. Conversations are crossing, so I can't see where we are. You hear all the conversations?
Yeah.
I can hear you now. I turned off my Bluetooth in my car. Yeah, that's delayed bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
it's too delayed. Conversations are crossing, so I can't see where we are. I'm gonna go back to Zoom, okay?
Okay.
All right. That was way too delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I see
anyway,
that.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get started. Thank you for being here at Life Vibes with Phase. With Phase is the next. Actually, this is Phase's Life Vibe. Phase is the Next Level is another channel that I have. But anyway, I wanted you guys to come on. I wanted you guys to come back because we've gone through this before. And so maybe some of the situations or circumstances have changed, but it was a really good interview. So I wanted to make sure that I got you guys back. So I want to start by you guys introducing yourself. We'll start with you, Coach Newton.
Well, it's Edward Newton. I hope everybody knows me. If you don't, hello, how you doing? Hello to the home down. Big shout out to my cousin and what she's doing, accomplishing great things, and love you at home and miss everybody.
Love you and miss you. Dan?
Dan Bolin from Bowling Springs, Oklahoma. I know these two very well from way back in the day.
Yeah.
Very, very glad to see you doing good things. Both of you.
Thank you. So I appreciate you guys being here. We did this before and I was not technically inclined the first time. So maybe this will work the next time. That's why I went live on YouTube so that we make sure that it is loaded on YouTube. But let's just get started. We're talking about relationships from a man's perspective. And so I wanted to start out by saying that, first of all, I want to ask, are either one of you guys in a relationship currently?
No.
Okay. Dan?
No.
Okay. And so let's talk about that. As we get older, let me back up. Previously, in my younger years, I didn't make such good choices, right? And I'm not saying who I was dating or whatever were bad people. None of us are bad people. We just don't make good choices. And so some of the relationships don't go the way that they're supposed to, and you just end up, doing whatever. And so at what point though, as we mature and we grow, do we start looking at really getting serious in a relationship? And what is the cost for either one of you not being in a relationship today? Whoever wants to go first.
Me, it's probably my career and compatibility. I very much so want to be in a relationship, a meaningful relationship, have something to call my own, something to come home to. But as I've talked to other people, it's kind of hard. I have to take fault in that as well. With me being a college basketball coach, on the road a lot, not at home a lot, it takes a strong woman to deal with that. And that's probably part of the reason why I'm not, in a relationship. Another reason, for the last 10 years, I was raising two of my kids on my own. And a lot of women my age, they didn't want, they felt like I'm through being a mama. I don't want to help raise nobody else's kids. And I would take offense to that and say, I don't need your help. I've been doing it on my own this long. So I
I
don't
have
need
to,
your help. I was trying to get a relationship between me
Yeah.
and you. Ain't got
Right.
nothing to do with my kids are good.
right,
They got a mama. They just live with me.
right.
So,
Yeah.
so that had a lot to do with it, huh?
I am so with you on that. I think that was like a lot of my issues. Like it was my children first. It had always been me and my children. And for anybody to want to come and get in that space, it was kind of a problem because we weren't trying to replace their dad. We were just, it was just like, I'm like you, it was the relationship between me and you. And if it wasn't about my kids, then I didn't, you got to go. I
Right.
wasn't trying, I'm not looking for a dad for my kids. My kids have a dad, right? And they have a relationship with him. And that was a lot of the problem. For me, I was scared to say, okay, bring them around my kids. And then my son was kind of pro his daddy, not kind of, he was. And so he would give them HELL, right? And so
Right.
it just didn't work out for a long time until my son really matured and understood that it wasn't going to be, his dad and I.
And I had a woman tell me that I was dating for a few months. She told me she was not going to be second to basketball or my kids. And I said, well, I'm a father and basketball is my profession. So let me help you get that door.
Yeah.
So Dan, let's talk about it.
Well, it's a little different for me because mine is 18 now. I never had a problem with as far as the women in and out of the picture, but mine is probably more. My expectations are extremely high.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are probably more intimidated when you kind of seem to be going on the right direction and you try to come into that situation.
Right.
A lot of people thinking that you're going to be like, oh shit, get the hell out of here, just walking around on eggshells. But it's not like that. I don't know. Seems like there's been a lot of women who I've been around who don't prefer to go the route that's already you so-called won't. That's the everything there.
Yeah.
You'd rather go this other route. Hey, I don't want to.
Yeah. I think, Dan, that women get intimidated by that. Let me say this.
Almost definitely do.
From being a strong-minded woman, right? I am independent. I never needed anybody to take care of me and my children. I didn't want for anything. I got it, my own, right?
Yeah.
And then when you have a man that says, I have this house laid out for you. I have my career in order. I'm not trying to be your kid's daddy. I know my role. I stay in my lane. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Do I really want to do that? Because we get afraid because it feels like, because we know that in a man's house, his man is his castle, right? The man is the man of the house.
Yeah.
And so I had no man of the house, right? I had that example set before me with my parents, but as far as me and my children, I was all of that. And so for somebody to come into our lives, that was scary. So I think it's a lot of intimidation. We say we want a man that got his stuff together. We want a man that got, his career, he got finances are in order. And then when you say, here it all is, what happens?
Yeah.
What happens?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't want that.
And then the thing about it is, and it goes both ways, but for me being a male, I gotta speak from the male perspective. A lot of women want what they can't provide or afford themselves from a man. You got to have this, you got to have that, you got to do this. Instead of let's build this together. You are looking for a ready-made what a man has to have, which one ain't got nothing to do with love, but you still you want this ready-made man, but you can't provide that for yourself. So if you want a man, you want to be with a man and it's all about materialistic things, what he can give for you. Once that runs out, that man's gonna know deep down inside that's what she's with me for. And he's gonna end up treating like that. So you just gonna be next up. That's why you just with me for this. You got with me because I got this, and I'm just gonna. That's why I'm gonna treat you. That's why I'm gonna treat the relationship. You're never gonna get all of me because I know why you got with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you say to a woman that says, and I'm not trying to make this a prejudice thing or a black and white thing, none of that, but women that say black men are selfish and that they don't want a good woman to come. They want to, they don't want to do their part when it comes to the relationship and that they cheat a lot. What's your response, Dan?
I don't know. I'm going to completely disagree with that.
Okay.
you know, I'm just gonna say there are a lot of immature men, but there are a lot of vindictive and immature women as well who listen to the wrong people. You know, those outside influences are detrimental to your relationship. You know, especially when you entertain them. You know, that right there is really, especially if you're entertaining the wrong relationships. You know, that is just not, it's not healthy at all. But you know, that's what's going to cause confusion after confusion after confusion as far as you know, you keep going through that. But you know, my thing is, you just hear most women always say what they want, but when it's presented to them, they never take it.
Exactly.
They much rather, they never
Wow.
always go with that, you know, almost like a motherly thing. I'd rather have this little project here. I'd rather build on. And I mean, it's obvious what's good. I don't know if it's a mother thing. I don't know what it is with the women, but I just know that when the opportunity is there, that they will not take it. They really, really are afraid of that.
Wow. Look, I don't mean to call you weird, you guys. That's
I
what
know
I'm-
men have cheated. I know black men have cheated. I know white men have cheated. I know Mexican dudes have cheated. Men
Oh,
cheat
yeah.
and women cheat as well. And that
Oh,
goes
yeah.
back to what I said in the first place. Some people get together for the wrong reasons. Today's generation is different. Relationships are built for the wrong reason, and that would allow, to me, that's what people allowed to get in the middle of their relationship. I know a couple that's 20 years younger than me, been married 10 years strong, and that's because they fell in love. They fell in love when they didn't have nothing. They fell in love in college. They fell in
Wow.
love when they in college. They didn't have nothing. Now they got a beautiful house, been together for 10 years now, 2 beautiful kids.
That's
So
good.
to me, true love is hard to find these days.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's been so based on materialistic. I tell, when I meet a woman, I'm looking for that old school love. I'm looking for back in the day when that Mississippi love, when you got a man and a wife raised, their house don't even have a wood floor. They
Yeah.
together for 40 years because that's all they got. That's
Right.
all they had. That's the strongest
Yeah.
thing they had.
That's
Was
right.
them two. Mama held the house down, daddy brought the bread home.
That's right.
And that's what a real man's supposed to look for, is old school love, and just somebody to build something with. But they want a ready-made man, or looking for a ready-made woman, or a woman, a man is intimidated by a successful woman who has her own. Don't be intimidated. Get your own, and y'all can build a castle, a kingdom together. But it's right now, to me, it's just like, what can you give me? What can I do for you? You know, and as far as the cheating comes in all shapes, sizes, and forms, especially
I like
today.
that. I like
And
that.
gender.
I like
And
that.
gender.
Yeah, I get that. I think I agree with you, Ed. I think that I think that relationships are a team. It's a team thing.
Yep.
It's not about if he makes more money than me, I make less, or I make more, or you got more, I got more. It's about your relationship, your communication, your trust, and all those things. All the other stuff falls together. But I think the true love is whenever you see me for who I am and accept me for that. I see you for who you are, and I can accept you for that. And we build together. I don't care what you got. You don't care what I got. We just build it together.
Right.
But what happened? What do you say to women that says, I've been hurt before, and now there's no good men out there. So what do you say to that? Because I hear that from a lot of women that say, there's just no more good men.
Oh man, come on now.
I say those women keep shopping from the same shelf.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Oh,
Those women keep shopping from the same shelf. If you've been in 2 or 3 late relationships with the same kind of man, whose fault is it?
that's right.
You've been in 2 or 3 bad relationships with the same kind of men. Whose fault? Who's at fault really?
Man,
That's
you
it.
couldn't have said that. You couldn't have said that any better.
Couldn't
Right
have
there.
said it better. Couldn't have said it better. Let me tell y'all something. I had this type of man, right, that I wanted.
Oh, what kind? Let me hear. Let me hear. What kind? What kind was it?
He had to be street.
Let me hear.
He had to be. This is me. What I'm thinking, right? He had to be street. He had to be ghetto. He had to be, all these crazy things that I thought, right? Whatever. But then whenever I mature and I grow and I go through those things, and I'm finding, like you said, Ed, you keep getting into these same relationships. I'm not saying they bad people. It's just we're going different directions, right? And so I would get into the same kind of relationships, these same kind of, I'm like, that don't work. So when I find my husband, I'm with my husband, they like, y'all don't even match. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? 7 years strong and older
Your
than
soul
me.
matches.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, and I'm good, I'm happy, like, who thought I would get married? Not me, right? So it's a matter of, I gotta stop looking for love in the same places that never work for me, and try to step outside the box and see who really is mature enough for me, who really accepts me for who I am. And it doesn't matter what my past looked like. Let's grow together moving forward, right?
I'm not attracted to the same type of woman I was attracted to 20 years ago. I read that if you have the same mindset as you did 20 years ago, you'd wasted 20 years of your life.
You ain't
Yeah,
growing.
yeah, no doubt.
I'm
No
not
doubt.
attracted to the same woman. I'm not gonna go right now. I'm cool with being at home. I travel, I go out if time permits. But the last 5 or 6 years, I just have dove into my career and my kids. So what I used to do a lot of, I don't do it anymore. So I feel like I've grown. So why would I go try to get in a relationship with a woman that clubs every weekend? Something like, we're physically attracted, but we're not mentally or attracted like that or anything like that. And so people got to take responsibility for who they choose.
Yeah.
And that's a man and a woman, and then come to face with that, they gotta, when they face that to that reality, be like, this is what I'm attracted to, but is this really good for me and my children or whatever I'm trying to do in the future? How come what doesn't attract me to this man? We're like, I'm not gonna be with nobody I don't want to be with. We're not saying that.
Right.
But quit blaming it on the man if you keep choosing the same kind of man. If you keep going, you go to the store and get the same loaf of bread and you don't like that bread, why you keep going to get the bread?
Right.
When there's other bread on the shelf.
It's easily accessible.
There you go, Dan.
I think so. I think it's a comfort thing too, Dan. I think that's just, yeah. So I'm not like, I step outside the box. I'm like, oh, this is just not even what I'm even accustomed to. Like that ain't, but what I'm accustomed to ain't working for me.
Right.
Well, I mean, what are you going to say? Are you going to say that your expectations are a little low? Are you you've been hurt? Are you not shooting your best shot? Well, I mean, what's the reason why you're still shooting for the same thing?
Right.
At some point in time, you're going to have to grow. You're going to have to mature and want different things.
Right. I like that because it's your maturity level. And I like exactly what you said also, Ed. 20 years ago, you're not growing if you're still stuck in 20 years. And
for sure.
And then women have a tendency to have a low self-esteem. Like some women can't, and I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, of course, they can't be without a man. So they just, whatever man will come and be there, or they feel like they got to stick with this certain man because they're nobody else will really want me, right? That low self-esteem, they just don't have that for some reason. It's something. So I feel like before you start dating, I feel like you got to do some soul searching. And because if you're not good for yourself, then you can't be good for somebody else.
Let me tell you,
gotta love you first. You have to love you first, no doubt.
Yeah, I'll tell you an example here. A little female, won't say no names, but gets out of the divorce, been divorced for a while, has a little relationship going on. I'll kind of bump into her, talk to her a little bit. We're hanging out. I'm kind of a little wild back in my days, but I'm kind of really, really reserved now. She doesn't drink or smoke or anything. I have my best time hanging out with her. She is completely opposite of what everybody would think that I would be wanting.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'd have the best time in the world. But she tells me that I think I'm too good for her.
Too good for her?
Yeah, what kind of shit is that?
What you say, Dan?
What?
Yeah, what kind of shit
that's fear, bro. That's fear.
I mean?
It's fear.
That's fear. That's fear. I'm
think,
catching feelings for this man, and oh my God, I don't know what to do because I don't know what he gonna do. That's fear, bro.
Yeah, I think it's fear, and I think it's low self-esteem.
Yeah,
I just feel like it is because we mean he's too good for you, but you digging him. Like
Yeah.
y'all good together. Y'all, you know, you guys are good. And so
Yeah.
why are you too good for her? Did she?
I've had that happen to me like 5 or 6 times now.
Wow.
That's why I really crack up when I hear what women say they want.
Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you hear it all the time, you know, like I'm looking for this in a man, and it's always he got to have his stuff together. He got to,
Yes.
you know, be on the right track. He got to be
Fake
doing all
news.
and to hear somebody say you too good for me, that's kind of shocking.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Low
That's super
self-esteem.
good. Yeah. That's the biggest part.
What do you guys feel about looking towards, I guess you have to have a relationship to even think about marriage. I heard Ed say that he is wanting, you know, someone that he could come home to, somebody understand. I think you have to have an understanding, because if your career keeps you on the road, you have to have that woman that says I know he's coming home to me. He's out on the road working, but he's coming home to me. And
Right.
are you willing to deal with that in order to make this work? My kids,
Gotta be mature.
right, it's a mature thing. My children and Ed's children are younger. And so that's what it is with the woman. Like she made, most people our age, their kids are grown. And so we still got kids in the home, and maybe that's intimidating. Like I worried about that. Like, I'm like, my daughter ain't going nowhere for a long time. She's 11.
Yeah. I got a I got a story. Like, Dan, I lost the game and I was upset. So when I got to the house, I put the disc in the DVD player, and I wound up falling asleep on the couch watching the game because I was upset because we lost. Well, my daughter Jaria wakes up and asks me, did I sleep on the couch? I still have my clothes on, shirt, tie, everything. I told her, yeah. She told me I need a wife.
She can't do it no more, Daddy. Get you a wife.
So the next night we get home and I'm sitting on the couch. I'm kind of stressed out on the couch. She comes in the living room with a blanket and gets on a love seat. And I'm like, what are you doing? I don't want my daddy to sleep by himself and be mad, so I'm gonna sleep on the couch.
All right.
He looking out for
So
you.
I'm like, that's my little queen. But you know, my kids want to see me happy. You know, I want to be excited to come home, you know, knowing I've been on the road, you know, and I'm ready to feel that. I can't wait to get home to her. She's there for me.
Don't settle, bro. Don't settle, man.
Oh, I'm
Don't
not gonna settle, bro. That's why I'm still single. I'm not settling.
So here's my question, Dan. You could go first or whoever, but I want to know, how do you put yourself out there? Like, we don't party like rock stars like we used to, right? We do our thing or whatever we do now, not like we did before. So how do we put ourselves out there to be in a position to meet someone good enough, or to meet someone that you can start having that conversation and start trying to work towards a relationship? Because if you're working all the time and then you're with the kids and then you're tired, how do you do that?
I have literally.
Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
You got to make some time. I've literally went and partied with some lawyers, and I mean, they was buck wild, and you kind of mingling in there, thinking you gonna maybe this might be the big fish right here I'm trying to catch in there, and you get in there, and I mean, they just plumb pitiful.
Yeah.
That was just.
Yeah.
It wasn't no worse than being at Brookhaven, where
right.
It's hanging. It's no difference.
Right.
So you got to be careful. There is a lot of no good ones out there. No matter what the little pay scale is.
Exactly. I think it's hard if you're like, that's what women are saying. That's what I'm hearing them say. I'm scared to trust somebody. I don't know what's a good one. A lot of relationships I found like how did you guys, we have the conversation. How did you guys meet? Who connected y'all? Where were you? And a lot of it is somebody that they both were mutually friends with connected them, where they knew they were told this is a good man or this is a good woman. And maybe you guys try it. I guess that's a part of, that could be something that could happen. But to go out, like you say, Dan, amongst even lawyers, and they let loose like that.
Man,
Dating is hard. it's
pitiful.
hard to find somebody you can trust that said, okay, I'm gonna put all my marbles in this bag now because I trust
You
this
set
person.
yourself up for failure as soon as you do.
Yeah.
Set
And,
yourself up.
you got to find that line to where I got to have some me time, whether it be get out and mingle, whether it go out with your friends, whether it be go to church,
Yeah.
whether it be, I'm be honest, whether it be to hit one of these dating sites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, this you're gonna have to make some me time. And I think that's a lot of problems too, because a lot of single people out there, man, they're working. Some of them working 2 jobs, some of them working 67 hours a week. And you know, just
Yeah,
like
'cause-
what, I don't have time for games, which I can respect that. I don't have time for games, and you know, I'm just gonna do me. So,
Yeah.
so many
Right.
variables that it gets caught up in, you know, so many angles. But you know, you gotta have some me time. Gotta have some me time.
And then some of them, their kids, like you said, are grown and gone, so they're just working, work, you know, and they don't have time. But I just feel like, you know, we're older. Like I was asked to be, my husband asked me to marry him like 14 times before I finally said yeah, because I was like, I'm just so used to my kids and me. I'm just used to my kids and me. I was scared. I was like, I don't know about this, because not because of him, but because of me. Do I want to be married? Am I ready for this? Do I want, it was all those things. But I'm praying to God. God, send me a God-fearing man, somebody that got that stuff together, that'll love my children like I love them. And then I'm trying to run from him.
Mhm. Yeah.
So how do we know that, how can we be careful not to miss out on the right one? Do you know what I'm saying? By having all those reserves and by having these high standards, how do we know?
You gotta take chances. That's the only way. You gotta take.
Gamble.
If you never open the door, they can never come in.
That's real. That's real talk.
If you never open the door for me, you can never come in and show you. So I can show you. I can't show you what type of man or what type of king I can be to you, queen, through the window. Let me in and let me show you. When I deter for what I'm trying to show you as a man to be your king, when I deter from that, check me on it. Check me.
Like that.
Check me on it. But until when I'm showing you this is what you want, you told me this is what you want, I'm trying to give it to you as a man, you gotta let me in. I can't do it through the window.
Wow. So Dan, have you ever felt like, dang, I missed out on that one?
Oh yes, most definitely.
And why did you do it? Were you scared, or were you just doing way too much, or what happened?
Well, you know, in the previous life, I was doing way too much. I just didn't have really a lot of time to be trying to focus on a relationship.
Absolutely.
Or trying to get a lot of people caught up on what the hell I had going on.
Right.
So I was always kind of thinking about that. But as I kind of, you know, graduated on through that little part of my life and said, oh, man, I just wasted a lot of time, you know, a lot of me time, partying and flying all over the damn place, just me, you know, when I could have been spending that time with, you know, some quality time with somebody else. So that really had my guard up. That's probably the way I am now. I'm still extremely picky. My guard still stays extremely high. I don't really trust a lot of them janky, no good.
All right. I get that, but I get that, you know, then you've been alone and then you think you trust somebody, but people will show you who they are. You hang around long enough. They will let you know who they are. And then you're like, dang, I missed it again because that's the wrong one. So it's really hard. But I feel like for me, I didn't want to just grow older and older and older and not have somebody. I had to just, you know, step out, you know, I had to pray and say, you know, God, let me just do what we've been together this long. Why not?
Right.
You know, and it's fine. It turned out to be okay.
Right. You let him in, you open the door. You finally open the door.
Yeah.
But you know, a real man gonna persist what he wants.
I was gonna say
what I want.
He didn't stop.
I ain't even met Cousins yet, but I can't wait to meet him.
Right.
He did. My oldest son got married for his daddy, and the first thing I told him, I'm proud of you. You've been in a relationship with this woman. Y'all got a son together, and now you doing what a man's supposed to do. You gave this woman your last name. You got a bit of fact. I'm proud of him. I said, I salute you. I said, you are showing your brothers and sisters that you're under you, you're showing them what a real man's supposed to do when he love a woman. I thank
Absolutely.
you for that.
Yeah, yep,
I
exactly.
thank my son for that.
Yeah, it was persistent because you know you will have a man or y'all have a woman and say, oh yeah, and then you get on down the line and things totally change. Because see, in the beginning of a relationship, it's real good. You know, you just meet each other, it's all chummy, and then eventually a year down the line, it's like, who are you? I don't even know who you are. You know,
And that goes back to persistence. You gotta continue. You gotta continue to do what got her in the first place.
That's
You gotta
right.
be man enough to do that.
What you started.
If I got you because I made you laugh, 10 years down the line, I still gotta be the one to make you laugh.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's true. Very true.
I believe it. I believe it. So you was talking about Danielle that you had high standards, really high standards. And it sounds like Ed does too, which is good. Especially Ed, you got still a daughter in the home, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh
you
yeah.
have these high standards. Do you feel like people or men or women with high standards, like, do you feel like they're selfish in that I got my house, I got my stuff going on, I'll show you what I can do for you, but I know men that are like, this is my stuff, my house, but I want her, you know, that's like, and she has to have all these things going on and I got all these things going on. But when it comes to really committing to that relationship, because eventually if you make a commitment, a woman wants to be married, right? Then you start talking marriage. Well, you've lived by yourself all this time. Do you think that you're ready to allow someone in your space like that, in your home, sharing your things? It's not my no more. I, it's us.
I have standards, but I'm not selfish and I'm not greedy. And I understand that when you're in a relationship, you got to give and receive. And once again, you got to open up, and I got to be willing to give and take. You can't be in a relationship and be selfish.
No
Somebody
doubt.
gonna wind up being unhappy.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna wind up being unhappy, what's gonna cause problems, what's gonna cause other people to get in relationship, you know what I'm saying, and cause problems. So there's no way you can be selfish and be in a relationship.
So true.
What? I have completely opened up my whole home to a woman before, and she still walked around on eggshells. I can't understand it.
But why, I wonder?
Now, I mean, I'm not a selfish person. I've never been a selfish person.
No,
but you know, it's just completely, you know, if we together, you know, my home is your home, of course. Right. You know, you moved your stuff in here, and she's like, still just doesn't feel like my home. It's like, I don't understand it.
So let me tell y'all this. I had a home and my husband had a home, right? We never moved in together till we got married. But I have kids and my home was the bigger home, right? And he was like, well, maybe we should just go out and buy a house. We already have a home. He was afraid of coming into saying it's out, me and my kids is home, right? But you have to understand that whenever we become one and we become married, it's ours. I don't care if we packed up, came where you was, you packed up. So what do you say about women that say, I want to be with you, but we need to go find somewhere else, so to feel like it's both of ours?
You know, I just, you know, the way I was kind of raised and the guys I was raised up under was always, you the man, you get your stuff, you always have your stuff, you don't go live off of a woman. You know, just because that woman seems to be doing good, you don't go try to be no extra weight on that woman. You have your stuff that, then you invite her over to where you at, then y'all can work on something together. But if something was to fall out, you know, you don't never want to go, the woman gonna kick you out.
That's what he felt. So right there, he was like,
I was in a relationship. I was in a relationship where she asked me to come where she was at, and I did it, and I'm single.
But listen, y'all, look. Look, his home was nice, right? My home was nice. He had the layout, but it wasn't enough room for me and my kids. But he was like, but yeah, you get mad, then I gotta go. But that ain't how relationships work if you're trying to move towards a real commitment, a real marriage, right?
So there's nothing wrong with, okay, like we go back to, let's build together. Now that we're as one, in union and marriage relationship, we've made that final commitment. You're my wife, I'm your husband. I see nothing wrong, but like, if you want to move to another place that's ours, that just solidifies, to me,
Yeah.
that would just solidify how much she want to be with me. It's
Yeah.
because you've had women say, well, we can be together, but I want to keep mine. So in the back of our head, back of her mind, she'd be like, if he get to acting up, he got to
Absolutely.
go, because it's my
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, she
Or
ain't
vice
100%.
versa.
She
Yeah.
ain't
So for,
100% in it.
if my woman say, let's go find us a house that's ours, that makes me feel strong about how she feels about our relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
I get it.
I
get
agree.
I get that. Yeah. So okay, I get that. I was just adamant that it's easier for you to come here than us to pack up all this stuff and go there. And but he was like, okay, I don't like that because that's not how it's supposed to work.
It's not how it's supposed
That's
to work.
what you're wanting and you're comfortable with. We'll try it. And let's say within the year, we go buy the house that we both want, have some of the same things that we both want. But you got to
Yeah.
get to that point, right? You got to
Yep.
get to that
You gotta
point.
get to that
It doesn't
point,
happen
right.
overnight.
But yeah,
You gotta
you,
get to
I mean,
that
you,
point.
you got to give a little bit yourself.
Right. Because I'm
Yeah,
like, it's all like me. Yeah, I'm like, but I want it this way, and I want it. And then my mom was like, it don't work like that, honey.
Mm,
You know,
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
it ain't just
I-
your way.
Long as I got my
Yeah.
own little man cave to watch my sports, baby, you can
Right.
have whatever you want. Whatever
I
you
like
want
that.
is yours. Long as I got my little spot where I can watch my sports, and you don't come in there and try to turn the OWN or the cooking channel, nothing like that. You the queen of the castle. Whatever mama say, go. Except for this TV.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Ed. So since you have the kids in the home, what do you say when a woman comes in? They get along, everything's fine, but it's time to discipline. They have a mother in their life. They
Right.
have you. What do you say?
First thing they're gonna do, like right now, Takesha is 18, Jeree is 16. They're gonna respect who I'm with.
Absolutely.
And that I want them to I want them to build their own relationship. If me and this woman is in a long-term real relationship, if we're just seeing each other and first dating, I don't feel like that's proper. But
Right.
and I've raised my kids to respect. So
Right.
you're gonna respect them. So if we get the relationship deep in a relationship and we're living together, you're gonna respect what she says and a part of her rules too. Younger kids, if we're married and that stepmom, and she's with me and we're raising these kids, and if she had a child, a small child, and I was the stepfather, we're raising, and we would have that discussion like, how far does the discipline go? And
Yeah.
I'm gonna have that discussion with the other parent. If the other parent is in the
Communication.
life, if the other parent is in the life, I'm gonna have that discussion. Like, look, me and her talked, and you're the father, I'm the stepfather. So if something comes down to real discipline, she needs to contact you. But the child is in our house, so the child gonna respect what I say, and that's the same way I'd be with a woman. My kids, they gonna respect her.
Yeah.
And if she say something, if there's a rule in the house and she's asking to do something, then it's gonna get done.
Right. Dan, so your child ultimately stayed with his mom,
Yeah.
but you're in his life, you have a good relationship, whatever. Did you have any issues in that form of like, how would you handle if he's over there, his mom is seeing somebody, there's discipline time because him and the guy clash, whatever the issue is. How do you handle it?
I don't, seem to me, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm just gonna tell you a little example that at first, I think when we first broke up and we all split up, he went with his mother. And that was a heavy weight, just going from every day to having to deal with,
Yeah.
the weekend shit.
Yeah.
So went through that, and but it was still like me still snapping at her and not really even wanting to deal with her. I mean, I think I went years before we actually even talked a
Okay.
conversation. I mean, it was literally like, yeah, right, whatever. But I had a friend who told me, she said, you know what? I think that what you need to do is you need to, he was so wrapped up in his mother, listening to everything, all that part. You
Yeah.
know, so when he was kind of had a little snappy attitude when he came around on the weekends.
Because he was all with her a lot, right?
Yeah, he's with a lot. You know, he was. You know, this was them teenage years.
Yeah.
So you know, all that was with her. So she had told me, she said, you know what, you need to just go ahead and just go live your life, and as long as you handle your responsibilities, just see where that relationship goes. He said, don't be chasing it, be all mad, and just don't even worry about it. Just let that kind of trickle off of you. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. Then I just went on, just did my thing, just took care of my responsibilities. He was here, whatever, just took care of everything, made sure he was straight.
Right.
And he came to me, he said, you know what, man, I can see that something's different. It's like you ain't mad no more. I was like, no. I said, I mean, I'm over that. I said, man, it just doesn't matter to me anymore. I said, if you want to be with her, you just whatever. I'm gonna take care of it. And he said, well, it really ain't like that. Then now he wants to talk. Now he's in my back pocket all the time. I can't shake him. It's
Yeah.
like when you start to kind of move on and kind of grow up a little bit, kind of change the narrative a little bit. Things happen differently.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never had a problem. It seemed to me every time, I guess maybe she had a boyfriend or whatever said something to him, he'd come here.
Yeah. I see that. That's good. It was a respect thing. That's
Yeah.
respectful.
Yeah, he would
Yeah.
never had that problem. And I
with-
never had a girl.
Yeah.
That was always on my end. Don't even be trying to, say nothing to him because he ain't gonna be disrespectful to you anyway.
Right. And
Right.
that's how I was with mine. So for me, mine were younger, and I didn't want nobody saying nothing to my kids. I'm a mother. I'm very protective of my kids. I don't want nobody. I'll handle it. Even with my father, right? But I learned that I needed to allow my father to say stuff when he saw something wrong. I needed people that were saying the right thing to me to say something to my kids. But we, not trying to take their daddy's place or be, but be a role model that's giving them something positive in their life and stop being so protective, because it takes a village. It takes a
Yeah, oh
village.
yeah.
And
It
when you talk
does.
about relationships and you're really in a committed relationship, like, he's not going to hurt your kids. He's just telling them something right. Kids
Mhm.
these days don't even want to hear it.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
think it. So it's just, I want that help. I miss that help from my father,
Mhm.
and I just thank God I got somebody that like respects their daddy. But if he sees something wrong, says, now they can't disrespect you if they do. And they don't. But if he said, that's the only thing I would say is like, don't disrespect your mama. What's wrong with that? Nothing.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with
But
that.
I was
And I've
always
been on the
so
other side
protective.
to where I've been on the other side with the young man tell me, well, you ain't my daddy. I'm like, you right. And when his mom got home, I was like, hey, he was doing something I know you told him not to do, told him to stop. He told me I wasn't his daddy. She's like, I'm finna go. I was like, no, don't do that. I got it. I said, I got it. You talk to him after. So come upstairs a couple days later, Ed, like, what's up? You got any money? I'm like, yeah. Can I have some money? I'm not your daddy.
Woo.
Ooh,
He call you dad.
All right. Yeah.
He call you dad. He's like,
well,
And that's when I
well,
told him, sit down, let's have this conversation.
I'll be
Yeah.
damned.
That's
we're
good.
not gonna go both ways. I said, all I told you to do, stop doing something your mother said for you not to do. That day I'm not your daddy, but now you need something. Is can I have something? We not gonna do that. So we're gonna talk to mom when she get home, and we're gonna get this. I'm not trying to be your father. I'm not trying to
Right.
be your father, but I'm the one that's dating your mother. And I
Right.
said, it wasn't my rule, it's your mother's rule. So,
Right.
you gonna respect me on all levels, or don't. I deal with you. We'll deal with each other on that level.
Yeah.
Hey, where you living at?
I'm coaching at Harris Stowe State University in St. Louis right now.
Oh,
St. Louis. All right.
St. Louis. Well,
Stay tuned, though. I don't know how long I'm gonna be there. Stay tuned.
No, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you.
so guys, I appreciate y'all's time. This was a real good conversation. I remember like when back in the day we was young, who would thought we'd be having this conversation? And it was such an adult conversation. And I appreciate y'all's time. I really do. And I'm glad that we finally got to get it out there. Because people was like, well, I thought you interviewed them. Where did it go? Well, I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. So I'm glad that we are here, and I appreciate y'all. I am really proud of who you guys have become, and I know that relationships are hard. It's hard to find somebody that you can trust, but I just would say I hope that neither one of y'all are giving up, because us women,
No,
we got these, we're so dramatic. It's like, oh, nobody wants us. There's no good men, but just
What do you
know.
mean by giving up? What do you mean by giving up?
Giving up
What are you
is saying,
What are you trying to say?
saying,
What are you trying to say?
don't think, let your guards down a little bit and say, okay, don't think there's just nobody, right, that you can't trust. Like you guys will
Right.
be married in a year. How about that?
You think so?
Hey, anything's possible. Pray to God.
Hey, I give it.
You,
I
you
wouldn't
got
be
some friends. You got some friends.
right now. I would welcome if I met a woman and if you say I'm gonna be married in a year, I would welcome that. I mean,
All
I
right.
really do want something to come home to. I really am looking for that.
I want that for you. I want that for you. And
so-
I pray, I'm going to put it on my prayer list. And you too, Dan. I'm going to pray. It might not be a year, might not, but I pray that you guys find love and be really like that woman is very comfortable with who you are and comfortable with herself. She got to be comfortable with herself and love herself
Right.
before she
Right.
can love you. So
You got some friends.
So, right,
Oh,
exactly.
Dan.
Right. So Marva, your next podcast need to be, you need to have an eligible bachelor segment. That's what
Yes, that's good. I'm going to do it. Or how
and
about,
bachelorette.
I was going to say, how about bachelorette? Eligible women who are so sincere about looking for a relationship, and you guys tune in.
Okay, just let me know.
Dan, you crack me up. Okay, I'm serious. I will let y'all know.
Just let me know.
Yeah, I will. But again, you guys, thank you for being at Phases Life Vibes. This was fun, and I knew it would be. I appreciate it. And y'all are welcome back anytime. Thank you so much.
Proud of you, cousin. Love you.
I'm trying to tell
Love
you,
you.
thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very
Dan, you
much.
hold it down, Dan.
Hey, you do the same thing, dog.
All
All
right,
right, bro.
see y'all later.
Bye-bye.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Peace out, G.